ago, I used to live in California, and I was introduced to doTERRA essential oils, and I didn't know that it was going to change my whole career and my whole life. But before I get into my story, I want to introduce Evelyn Hazen. Evelyn is my mentor, and she is currently living in, is it Huntington Beach or Dana Point?
Dana Point.
Dana Point, and she's been doing essential oils longer than I have, and she's always there when I have questions, so I'm so grateful for you. Evelyn. And we haven't seen each other since,
Wow.
it's been a while, so it's fun to run into her tonight. So do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself and your journey?
Yeah.
Essential oils?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rebecca. It is fun that she's here. We only get to see each other when we travel, so that's how our relationship works. But I've been using the oils for almost 3 years now, and I have 2 small children, and they were kind of the reason why I started, because when your babies get sick and you don't know what to do and medicine's not working, you always look for an alternative, and so that's how I got started with the oils and had great success with not only my family's health, but also just friends, and now I get to do this. I travel and I meet amazing people, and I tell them how these oils can help change just their family's health and their own personal journey, and I'm excited. This is the best part about our job, is meeting people and telling them about these amazing products. So thank you for being here and being willing to listen, and we hope that you learn a lot. And yeah.
Cool. So I grew up on the East Coast. I'm the daughter of a physician, and there's a lot of MDs in my family. So that was the kind of framework that was available to me when I was sick. And I had a lot of issues growing up, so I was heavily medicated for different issues, and that was just the go-to. If I didn't feel well emotionally or physically, hospital or pill. And it's not that my family wasn't open to other alternatives, they just didn't know about other alternatives. So I also grew up in a home with synthetic cleaning chemicals and a regular conventional American diet. So things have drastically changed for me, and as a result, also my family's life. My dad has finally started using essential oils, and a lot of hospitals are also using them now. But when I first was introduced to doTERRA, I got a little sample packet of this in the mail. My arms were always bothering me. I had trouble carrying groceries, I had trouble typing, and it was really uncomfortable, and I just kind of accepted that that was a way of life, because I really did try a lot of things for it: physical therapy, ultrasound, all sorts of stuff. And I put that on, and the next morning the issues were gone, and they've never come back. So I was super surprised about it and tried to contact the woman that sent me the sample. I couldn't get a hold of her, but doTERRA kept showing up in my life. And when I finally met our upline, she invited me to a retreat, and I came for the day, and I met Evelyn, who I fell in love with, and a bunch of other women just sitting around talking about how situation after situation after situation in oil helped them when they didn't realize that that kind of relief was available to them. So I wanted to learn more, and the next oil I found was Serenity. I had a really hard time making it through the night. My mom was back on the East Coast while I was in California going through chemo, and I just couldn't rest. So Serenity oil in our 8-hour diffuser, diffused all night, kept me asleep, and I really don't choose to go a night without it still to this day. So as a certified holistic health coach, I'm always looking for more and more natural products that actually work. So there's a lot of natural products in the market that are either adulterated, or they're watered down, or they're simply not sourced well, and so they don't work as well as doTERRA. So when I started noticing what kind of results I was having with my clients, I decided I needed to share it with people. It was my honor and my birthright. So that's how I started doing this, and I now travel around the country, and I train people all over the world to use it to support their families and friends. So we'll start talking about the oils. You have this sheet, and you also have a little handout. So tonight we're going to go over what an essential oil is, how to use it, and how you can purchase it. at the cheapest cost possible. So if you have a pen, I think everybody does, you can start taking notes on the price sheet. If you can circle something, kind of start making a wish list if I mention an oil that you might like to have. And we'll have a chance also to go over some health goals. So I know that most of you filled out a raffle ticket, so you might have already thought about it, so it's great, we're already one step ahead. So the first thing on the sheet is a little microscopic picture of a peppermint leaf. And at lunch, I had a drink with peppermint leaves in it, and my waitress saw I was collecting them, so she brought me over some more. They didn't quite make it home, but intact, they still are potent. So I'm gonna give you guys all a peppermint leaf to rub your fingers on, and you can smell it. And so the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of people don't know what an essential oil is. And 2.5 years ago, I didn't either. So when you rub your finger on a peppermint leaf and smell it, that is the essential oil. And in that picture, you'll see those sacs are what hold the essential oil, and those spikes are the furry hairs of peppermint. And you'll also have a chance to try our peppermint oil as well. So Evelyn, do you want to talk a little bit about peppermint?
Yeah, so this peppermint is one of the most adaptogenic plants, which means it adapts to its environment. So when there are environmental hazards that come around a peppermint plant, the essential oils on the plant literally balloon up to protect the plant from environmental hazards. And so a plant is a natural organism, just like we are a natural organism. And so the oils marry our skin so well because they know exactly what to do in our bodies. And so as soon as an environmental hazard will come around the peppermint plant, it protects it, and that's the same way that the oil works for our bodies as well. So 1 drop of peppermint is the equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. It is extremely powerful, extremely potent, so be careful that you don't rub your eyes. If you ever do get the oils in your eyes, we know that oil and water don't mix. So you can use just coconut oil or even olive oil in your kitchen and rub it around your eyes, and it'll pull out the sting. It won't damage them, it just is a little irritating. Do you want them to?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to just take 1 drop of peppermint in your hand, and then you're going to take your thumb of your other hand and place that drop in your thumb, and then I want you to suck your thumb to the roof of your mouth. It's good, it's safe, and everyone's going to do it. So you're going to just go like this, and you're going to pull it out. And then what I want you to do is rub your hands together, and you can rub the oil on the back of your neck. Peppermint has so many uses. It's great for cooling the body down. You'll notice as soon as you put that 1 drop of peppermint in your mouth that it helps open your senses, it cleans and freshens your breath. It helps open up your respiratory system. It's great for head or neck tension. It's also great for your digestive issues. I travel all over the country because of doTERRA, and I am a horrible traveler. And so I rub peppermint right underneath my nose on the airport, like when I'm sitting on my plane, and I just breathe it in and absorb the benefits. And so could you tell that 1 drop? Yeah. But make sure you don't rub your eyes. Yeah. It's the only disclaimer.
And just like Evelyn was saying about adaptogenic, most of our oils are, and they have so many different benefits. So one of the things I love about them is even if one oil isn't supporting you in the way you would like to have it support you, there's more oils that you can try, but you've still done something positive for your body. So other ways I like to use peppermint oil, I live in Kansas right now, and there are poisonous spiders that are very plentiful. And so I like to put a couple drops of peppermint oil in a spray bottle of water, and I spray around the house, and it really keeps them away. And I also like to spray it on my body to keep me cool during the hot, humid months in Kansas. And one other thing I wanted to say about how concentrated they are is if you've cooked with herbs or made any tinctures or salves, essential oils are actually 50 to 70 times more potent than dried herb. And when dried herb is harvested, or when herbs are harvested and dried, they deteriorate in potency. right away. And as long as doTERRA oils are kept cool and dark, they stay stable. So I really like that.
Did you guys like that, by the way?
Yeah.
So the next oil we're gonna pass around, I've got one, is lavender. So lavender soothes irritated skin, it soothes the emotions, and it supports restful sleep. I also, because I travel so much and I'm often up late talking to people around the country on different time zones, my cortisol levels spike a lot. So I like to rub lavender oil on my kidneys to keep my cortisol levels lower when I remember to. Or also when I'm driving and on road trips, my left arm always gets sunburned. So I like to put the lavender oil on to soothe my skin. So why explore natural solutions for your health? So it addresses the problems versus masking the system. I mean, Lauren and I were talking about this earlier about functional medicine. That, 7 minutes in an office with a practitioner can't really get to the root cause. And having essential oils at home, you don't necessarily really need to know the root cause. With the symptom, you're able to try an oil and it actually does get to the root, but you're seeing your symptoms be relieved, and it's such a gift. And they're pennies a drop. So even though they look like small bottles, one drop you tasted with the peppermint goes so far. So there's 250 drops in that bottle you're handing around. So imagine how long it lasts. And they're available at home immediately. So I know some of you are moms, and when your child's not well and stressed out, it's hard to see them suffering, but it's also stressful to have to take them in to be seen and then assessed, and then possibly going to have to go get them things later to treat them. With the essential oils, they're at home, they're ready to relax the child and then deal with the discomfort, and they're super potent and powerful. And there's no side effects when they're used properly. The recommendation I like to give to people is if you have sensitive skin or you're working with the elderly or children, you do want to dilute. And doTERRA offers an awesome product called fractionated coconut oil. And so the molecule is fractured so that it's always at a liquid state, even the temperature shifts, and it doesn't have a scent and it's not greasy. So just a couple drops of coconut oil and 1 drop of oil, not only does it dilute it and make it easier to feel, but it can spread further. So 1 drop of Digest Zen, our digestive support blend, doesn't cover my whole belly, but if I put it in a couple drops of coconut oil, I'm able to create the whole surface area. And something that's a new concept for a lot of us is that more doesn't actually mean more powerful. So with essential oils, that's the same thing. And there's this threshold. So you could do too little, and if you do a little too much, it's almost like it could cancel itself out. So you just want to use 1 to 2 drops, and you'll receive the benefit. So how are you guys liking the lavender?
Great.
So are we gonna talk about something I personally really appreciate about doTERRA as a company is they only source the oils where they grow in their native soil. And in college, I created my major around environmental and cultural sustainability. So I went to Peru and studied fair trade coffee production and cacao and sugarcane, and I saw what kind of impact fair trade had on these communities and these farmers and the environment. And what doTERRA does is they take it a step further. They don't just give them a fair wage. They don't just make sure that they're treating the environment friendly. They give back to the communities. So one of my favorite mood support oils is called vetiver, and it's sourced from Haiti. It's a grass with deep perennial roots, and Haiti is one of the most poor countries in the Western Hemisphere. And when doTERRA decided they wanted to work with this village, Emily Wright, one of the co-founders of doTERRA, recognized that they had no running water and that the children weren't in school, and it was their job every day to walk an hour and a half to go get the water and an hour and a half back, and they still had to boil it. So doTERRA paid to have wells dug and plumbing installed, and that village now has clean drinking water. So these are the kind of stories behind each bottle, and to me, having been really invested in that kind of trade, it's really neat to see that they took it a step further, and what else is possible, truly, because they created something new that no one had really considered before. So I'm excited to see what other kind of companies can replicate that, and I'd like to see it. So frankincense is the next oil we're going to talk about, and it's considered the king of the oils. It's known to enhance the benefit of the other oils it's used along with, and it also has so many different benefits. It supports healthy cellular function. When used topically, it helps with wrinkles and age spots. Acne scars is something it's really helped me with. It balances the mood, and they say when in doubt, use frankincense, because if you're not sure what to use, chances are frankincense is going to help it. So it's a very valued oil, and we source it from Somalia, and the trees grow off the side of cliffs, and there's lots of snakes in that habitat, so the people who go to harvest it are in danger for snake bites, falling off cliffs. Women hand pick the tears, is what they're called, the sap from the frankincense tree, for the highest grade. So it's a very labor intensive oil. So the price is a little higher than, say, our lemon oil from Sicily. Do you want to talk about lemon oil?
Sure, I can. We source our lemons from Sicily, and the reason being is there are lemons that grow all over, but the high molecular structure in the lemons, the highest they've discovered has been in Sicily, and that's where they grow naturally, and they're in their indigenous climate, so the soil is so rich, and so that's what sets our oils apart from other essential oils, is that we really research where we're going to find the highest molecular structure of the oil, because that's where we're going to have the most benefits. But lemons are abundant, and there's a lot of them, and they're cold pressed with the rind, and so it's not as difficult to make lemon oil. So that's why lemon, for example, is a $10 bottle of oil, and I use lemon for everything. We drink it, it helps naturally detoxify the body of things that don't belong. It's a citrus, so all citruses are uplifting. Lemon also helps for just getting rid of stains and anything that my children put on the carpet, I use lemon with, or I clean the bathroom with lemon, but I really like our lemon.
Did anyone not smell the lemon? You didn't? It's in the water too, if you want to try it. It's nice and light and sweet. Thank you, Ed. I love hearing her talk about lemons. And if you notice, a lot of the dish soaps and cleaning products are lemon flavored often, and it's because lemon's so cleansing. It's really a great, I use it to get out stains. I was in Vancouver recently, and my cousin was a little messy in the car, and so I was a little worried about getting the stain out. So I used some baking soda and lemon, and it was so good at getting the stain out. The rest of the car looked so dirty, and I thought, oh my gosh, now I've got a clean spot in the car. But luckily the return rental place was in a basement, and it was dark, and they didn't find out. Even though a couple weeks later, I didn't tell you this, Sarah, I got a red light ticket. My mom warned me that in Vancouver, if you guys ever travel to Vancouver, they've got an incredible network of cameras in traffic, and so I totally ran a red light. And so I saved money from the rental car fee, but oh well. So we talked a little bit about the sourcing of the oils, and why harvesting them from their natural habitat make them such a more potent product. But something else that doTERRA does that sets them aside is the CPTG certification. That stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And so if you go to a store or buy oils offline, you'll notice that there's they may say 100% pure essential oil on the label, but there will also be a warning on the back that says not for internal use. And that is because there's no regulation in the industry. So as long as they have some essential oil in the bottle, they're allowed to write 100% pure essential oil, and they're also allowed to put whatever else they want in there, as long as it's generally regarded as safe. But if we're not allowed to ingest a peppermint oil or a lemon oil or a lavender oil, it's kind of an indication that there's something else in the bottle we can't eat. So doTERRA decided to create a standard so that consumers could feel confident that when they're getting a bottle of oil, we know that it's free of contaminants, free of pesticides, heavy metals, also free of mold or fungus that might have occurred during the processing. They also test to make sure that it's consistent bottle to bottle. Because if we're using 1 to 2 drops and we know what kind of dose we need for certain things, we want to be able to trust that it's the same potency in every bottle. And with doTERRA, we can be sure of that. So you'll see on a lot of the bottles, there's a nutrition label. And for the ones that are meant to be inhaled or used topically, it's not that if you ingested it, it would be dangerous, but it's just not the intended use. So I love that about them as well. Did you have something to say? No? Okay. You're just,
Certified by whom though? Like certified by doTERRA?
that's a good question. So doTERRA works with 3 independent party labs. One of them being, I hope I say it right, Dr. Pappas. Okay. Dr. Pappas's lab, he tests oils from all over the world, and he's the leader in essential oil chemistry globally. So he's one of our testers, and they test it at the farm, every liter. So they don't just do batch testing, they don't do random batch testing, they test every single liter. They test it once at the farm, once when it gets to the factory, and one more time before it gets shipped out, and they do 7 different tests. So to check for chemical constituents, heavy metals, molds and fungus, pesticides. Am I missing anything else?
Well, yeah, that's a great question, because I mean, we're doTERRA, so of course we're going to tell you how great they are. But when other companies come in and validate our results, but they also test for when the oil is extracted from the plant. And that's an optimal time of when you're going to get the highest results from the oil. And so think of like a lemon tree. If you pull a lemon off the tree too soon, it just doesn't have the juice, it's really hard, and it's just not ready yet. And the same thing happens a couple weeks later. If you wait too long and you pull the lemon off, it's dried out. And so those researchers also test that optimal level of when the oil is going to be at its highest standard and at the best basically for our bodies, and that's when we harvest the oils, and so that's also another thing that they test.
I'm glad I asked. So they are the purest oils you can find today, and just through trial and error, I've noticed that they smell differently, they feel differently, they create a different effect in my mood and my body, and so I'm just really pleased with also the consistency bottle to bottle. Sometimes the peppermint or lavender might smell a little different, but it's because they're natural, and sometimes plants, vary in scent. So essential oils are super effective, and they work at the cellular level to protect our cells. And as Evelyn mentioned earlier, we're so similar molecularly, and that's why the oils kind of recognize our cells and our bodies recognize the oils. And we eat plants, and they say that you are what you eat, and that's absolutely true. So putting in something that recognizes your body and your body recognizes it is a very effective and smooth way to support the body. So instead of always just targeting what's wrong with the body, it actually helps support the body to take care of itself. So when the body gets the clean water and proper nutrition, the right amount of exercise, the body is far more capable of taking care of itself than we give it credit. So the essential oils help support that, and so do some of the supplements that doTERRA offers as well, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So the impurities and threats that sometimes we might go to the doctor for, they reside inside of our cell, and a lot of other options can't penetrate the cell, but essential oils can, because there's a lipid bilayer around each cell, and so the oils can actually travel through it and target any threat or impurity inside of it. So they're really effective at that. And the essential oils are nutrients that penetrate, well, I just said that, to diffuse into the cell membrane and fight against threats. So Melaleuca, which is very appropriate for where we're sitting at, it's great to add to shampoo to nourish the scalp. You can apply topically to nourish skin, and it soothes the skin and mouth irritations. So you might have used Melaleuca without realizing it. It's called tea tree oil.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was more familiar.
So it's also really effective for feminine health, pretty miraculously actually, pretty quickly, much more quickly than sometimes things you get at the store. Do you feel me, Ev? Cool. So there's 3 ways to use essential oils. You will see 2 funny looking things on the side of me here. So these are called diffusers, and you guys may have one in your home, or you might have a humidifier. They're not the same thing. A humidifier adds moisture to the air, but it also has a filter, and those filters unfortunately can breed mold and create more respiratory issues or other issues that you might be trying to avoid by simply using it. So the diffuser has no filter. It's just water and a couple drops of essential oil. And we're pretty close to the water here, yeah? Have any of you guys been to the beach before?
No, well, yeah.
So you notice that mist on the top of the waves? So the diffuser kind of does something similar. So that mist on top of the waves, the molecules of the water are breaking up and it creates that mist. So a diffuser does the same thing. And it doesn't heat up the oil. So I've also had people ask me about, are they called Sensi? It's like you put a candle or oil on top of a dish and it's under a flame. That heats up the oil so it can actually damage the constituents that you are wanting to use the oil for. So this keeps it stable, and it breaks it up, and it disperses it throughout the room. And it's a really cost-effective way to use your oils because we only put a few drops in, but now look how many people are benefiting from it. So your whole family can benefit from just a couple drops instead of just you, and it's a low, consistent dose, which is far more potent and effective in the body than one huge dose all at once. So I love that about the diffusers. So aromatically, you inhale the peppermint oil. That's another way to do it, or wear it like perfume, or rub it on your pillowcase, anywhere that you're smelling it. Do you want to talk any more about what smelling the oils can do for the brain? And
Yeah, that's a good question. My mom lost her sense of smell about 20 years ago because she was so allergic to cats, and so it's the olfactory part in your nose that contains your scent. She lost it because she can't smell. So of course of course I told her about the oils, and she said, "Oh, honey, those won't work for me. I can't smell anything." I said, "Oh, Mom, okay." So what happens is, think of carbon monoxide, tasteless, odorless, but if we breathe it in, does it affect us? Absolutely. Those chemicals go to our brain, and it affects things that are in our brain. The same is with the oils, though, obviously on a positive note. Even if you can't smell it, or you don't like the scent, or if you're not standing by it, if you're breathing the oils in, they are going to go to the part of your brain. They'll go through your olfactory part of your nose, back to the limbic part of your brain that controls your emotions. And so think of when you walk into someone's house and it smells like your grandma's house. And what does it do? It triggers a memory. Or if you smell something that reminds you of a childhood memory or something, it triggers the memory. Scent is the most powerful scent we have. And so breathing the oils in is one of the most powerful ways to have the oils work for you, even though you don't notice it. So I love using the oils, diffusing anywhere, because people don't realize that they're getting the benefits of it. Even people that don't want the oils, they're still getting the benefits.
Thank you.
Did you say the difference between these two? I may have missed it. I might have zoned out.
I love her questions.
Yeah,
Who
good job.
planted her here? Brilliant. This diffuser comes in one of our kits. It comes in the Home Essentials kit and the Emotional Aromatherapy kit. It has a 1, 2, and 4 hour setting, so I consider this my daytime diffuser or office diffuser. And then this other diffuser here comes in the Natural Solutions kit, and it lasts for 8 hours. So I sleep with that one by my bed, and I often don't travel without it. That's my important one. Are you guys feeling like you want to do a little raffle drawing? You guys getting a little antsy?
Sure, good idea.
Yeah, please.
You're allowed to ask questions other than her.
You mentioned like putting like the peppermint oil on your pillowcase or whatever. Like it's oil. Does it stain?
Yeah, that's a good question. It does not, because they're so pure. We use our oils. I wash my oils, or I throw a couple drops of oils in my laundry. They do not stain because they're not a heavy consistency of an oil like an olive oil, and they also don't have any proteins in them. And so typically the proteins are what stay in the stains in the clothes. And so I've had people tell me that they've spilled bottles all over their couch or all over something, and it doesn't stain because they don't have the heaviness of a typical oil.
Right, and they're astringent. So they actually cut the kind of oil that would stain, and that's why they're good for, pimples or things like cuts and scrapes, because it draws out stuff instead of leaving a stain. It's astringent. Did everyone put their raffle tickets in here?
I've got mine. Yeah.
Oh, we did not.
Oh, wait. This is different.
So one side is what you keep, so when I draw it, you know you win. And one side is for me to call your name out.
Sorry, where are you
I have to write my name.
No, they have numbers on them.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And I have this one.
Cool. Okay. Katie M.
Oh, that's me.
The girl with all the questions. You won a bottle of wild orange oil. So, I think Sarah has a testimonial for the wild orange.
Tell us, Sarah.
Oh, about my bottle?
Yeah.
Hold on, Mom asked me to have the testimony for serenity. Yeah.
Whatever you gave me yesterday wasn't the lavender.
It was serenity. Right?
Serenity. Do you want to come talk for the camera? Come up here. I'll give you.
It moves.
Ooh!
Oh,
Sarah's amazing. Now you're
Janet?
Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, well, anyway,
So you got
Becca
it?
gave me a sample of the Serenity yesterday. And I haven't slept in a while because I've got some stress stuff going on, because that's my daughter. It had nothing to do with her, I just wanted you to know, that's my daughter. And, so last night I said, well, I'm gonna try this, and I did, and I put some, like on my arm, I just right down there, and then there was, there's a lot left after just one drop, and so I'm just doing this, And I'm telling you, I went to bed at 11, and you did not see me again till 6. My norm is I'm up minimum 3 times a night, going to the bathroom or whatever. I am sometimes 5 times. Not necessarily because I have to go to the bathroom, and I just wake up, so I just have some place to go. So I get up, and I usually got a cramp in my foot or my leg. I can't sleep. It's just awful. But I'm telling you, I was gone for 7 hours.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It was. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I just woke up and I go, whoa.
It's if I had to pick one oil, I would never give up Serenity.
Oh, well, I'm not, so.
Well, I was just, no, it's good. I'm on a, hold on.
Oh, yeah, I know that was me.
Come on, you love it.
Skip it.
You can slice it.
No, I was telling her, I said, I don't know what Becca's been rubbing on me for the last 3 nights. I said, but I can't get out of bed.
Oh, no.
Like, that's why I was like late going today because of your damn oils.
You didn't tell me that till now. I got oils to wrap you up, girl.
She must have used 2 drops.
I know,
instead
because
of
it's
1.
hard for me to admit things sometimes.
We'll talk.
Because
We'll
she's
talk.
my mom.
I got an oil for that.
Oh, no, good.
Serenity. Awesome. So, Katie just won the Wild Orange.
Katie,
Oh.
how do you feel about it?
I feel really excited. It smells good,
So,
and I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Well, here
Well, let
Sarah's
me
going to tell you. Sarah, what do you do with Wild Orange?
so Wild Orange came to us in a box as a sample prior to this class. And I'm totally one that like I want to know before I do anything because I'm always afraid of doing it wrong. So I'm like I'm gonna wait till Becca gets here, teach a class, and then I will try the oils. But Danielle, the salon manager who made the pretty platter, was like, I took the Wild Orange out and I put it in my water bottle and I'm drinking it. I'm so happy and it tastes so good. And I was like, oh, then I'll do it. So I was so, and it was like the little baby stuff I was willing to take before she got here. And she comes up and was like, taste, look, it's the Wild Orange. It's in my water bottle. And she's like, oh, sweetie. She goes, you're not supposed to put it in a plastic bottle. And I was like, oh, I knew I was going to do something wrong. And then her response was brilliant because she goes, oh, you didn't do it wrong. You're just going to do it different for the rest of your life. So she's like, so needless to say, I need a different water bottle, I guess.
So, yay, Katie!
But you loved it, Sarah.
Oh, but I loved it.
But I still want to know what it does.
I still want to know what it does, though.
What does it do? Yeah, what does it do?
What does it do? So, Wild Orange, it's amazing. I love to offer it to people who need a little bit of smoothing out in their mood. Maybe they worry too much.
I needed it.
It's also really high in antioxidants. It's in our immune support blend On Guard, which is diffusing here because if anyone comes in here and they have some germs going on, this will kill it in the air so that we're not breathing it. So Wild Orange is, I think, the #1 ingredient in that blend. Again, it's really good for cleaning. It's great for binding to fat cells and flushing out. It's great. All the citruses are good for suppressing munchies. It tastes great. If I ever bake brownies, that goes in there. I love the Wild Orange. Oh, that's not a problem. Is there anything that you use it for?
Yeah, it's my daughter's favorite oil, although she doesn't know it. I use it to get the grumpies away. You know, sometimes your kids, if you have children, they wake up snarky in the morning. So what I do is I put it on a cotton ball and I stick it in the vent of my air conditioning in my car. She will be in a rotten mood and when we get in the car, and just in the time that we drive to school, she's breathing it in and her mood changes. So I have Wild Orange in every room of my house.
And a lot of teachers like to diffuse Wild Orange because of that snarkiness, and then peppermint to help stimulate the senses and wake you up. So Sarah had mentioned that before. It might have been
Pepperminting me?
Yeah, and we've got great oils that also help uplift, elevation, motivate is my favorite mood stimulants. Lots of good oils. So feel like another one's coming. I really do. Okay. Ha! KDM!
No, I won't take
That's
it.
okay. That's okay.
No,
Um,
no. Someone else should get something.
We've got plenty of prizes.
No.
All right.
Not 2 in a row.
Let me pick.
You're just feeling me.
Wow.
Hey, she's pulling energy. Who is this one?
No name.
Just
wrapping this around his tooth and leaving it there. So it helps with numbing, it helps with whitening the teeth. I love the way it tastes. So, and it's all natural. If you guys have noticed your synthetic toothpaste, it says if somebody swallows it, called poison control. I don't want to brush my teeth with that stuff. So this is totally safe and natural. Enjoy. And please don't stick it up your butt. Vanilla, Luca, or lavender, fine. Okay, fine. That might burn a little bit. Cool. So where were we? I'm a little distracted. Kidding, I'm on it. So, right. So topically, we're not on internal yet. Calm down. The oils can use topically. So deep blue rub. That stuff that was my arm miracle. It comes in several different options. It's not one of the oils recommended to take internally. We've got it in a rub, in a lotion.
Yeah, this one burns like that.
It burns so good, right? It comes in an oil. It also comes in a roll-on in the pure oil form, and it comes in our doTERRA touch sticks. So we've got bottles of oil where the drops come out, but we've also got roll-ons, and the touch kit are pre-diluted roll-ons that are safe for kids and for the elderly or sensitive skin right away when you purchase it instead of having to dilute it on your own. So because they're so powerful, and we only need one drop, we talked about diluting it so you can spread it over more surface area. And from bottom of the, if you put it on the bottom of your feet, which is where we have the largest pores in our skin, within 30 seconds, it's in all of your bloodstream. So it's really fast acting. You can apply it to feet, ears, chest, back of neck, head, troubled areas, just not on your eyes. Do you want to talk about the eyes, Sarah?
You can.
Okay, so I have the pleasure and privilege of staying over at Sarah's house the past few nights, and I got a text message yesterday morning. Got it in my eye. I knew exactly what she was talking about, and I said, why are you telling me this? Just kidding, just kidding. I knew exactly what she was talking about, so I ran downstairs to get the coconut oil out of the kitchen, ran into her bedroom, and I put the coconut oil around her eye. I told her to keep her eyes shut because sometimes it's just a little awkward. And then I let it sit there, and then I wiped it off with some toilet paper, and what did you say?
It was so weird, but it worked.
Yeah, yeah. So, as Evelyn mentioned before,
Because you didn't explain it first, you just came running at me with coconut oil. Coconut.
I was in a rush to protect you.
I know, but it was also like not. I didn't see it, so you had it like on a spoon, and you were like, "Here." I can't see.
Don't you know by now? I just do weird
No,
things
like
and
around
trust
the eye, and
it.
it literally like pulled it out, and then just wiped it off, and then it was gone.
Coconut and that's
Coconut oil, like I feel like does everything in like everything, and probably we'll find out that it can power our cars. That's like I feel like it does everything.
It's true. So, any veggie oil would do it, and because so the essential oils are astringent. Any sort of I need that word. It's moisturizing. It's fatty oils, I guess, is what they are. It pulls it out. It dilutes it. It softens it. So I notice I like to use lemongrass on my blemishes, and it burns if it's straight up. And if I put it with coconut oil, it's still effective, and it doesn't burn at all. So I don't know exactly what it's doing. I just know that it does work, and oftentimes that's enough evidence for me. And I was so pleased that it worked for Sarah, because the last thing I wanted to do was upset my hostess by dropping essential oils on her face.
Well, you didn't put it on. You just left all the oils on my bedside, and I didn't know what I was doing.
I know. It still probably would have looked like my fault. So I'm so glad it worked. And you know, it's so interesting because I've been doing it using doTERRA for 2 years, and still, when there's a new case that I haven't addressed before, I'm still surprised when it works. And it's because I am a scientist, and I do have skepticism because that's how our society looks at this stuff. But it works. And so I'm pleasantly surprised when I have got clients calling me, telling me that I recommended something out of the guidebook. Thank gosh that didn't fall. And that it worked. And I don't often tell them I'm surprised. But I am. So, is it time to hand these out yet? Not So, would you please talk about these books?
Yeah. So well, we might as well hand them out.
Yep.
You're gonna
I've got
share.
more. I've got more.
Or you have more?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, when they come to these classes, they're like, "That's great. I have no idea how to use these oils." And so what happens is when you enroll and become a wholesale member, and you have an order the following month, you get this book for free. And this book is amazing because it literally tells you what to do, how to use the oil, and where to put it, etc. So
When do you get it for free? Sorry, when you
yeah.
sign up as
So
a...
when you enroll as a wholesale member, and we'll
Okay.
talk about that at the end,
Right.
and then you have an order the following month, you get this book for free.
Oh.
So why don't everyone turn to the red section, and this is a new book, so I'm gonna thumb through. I don't know. Becca, what ailment do you want to talk about?
Somebody shout out Nailman.
Fertility.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to page 153. Go to 153 for coughs. We're ending our spring season, and so a lot of us have that nice spring tickle. So 153. So do you see how it mentions a bunch of oils? And the red oils are the primary recommendations, meaning that's what works for most people. The orange are secondary, and green is third. I'm going to move over there so you can. So what we recommend is we tell people start with one oil. If it works for you, great. If not, move on to the next oil. And then do you see how it has the waves or the handprint or the third one, the teardrop? That tells you aromatically, topically, or internally. And so when you're not sure, you go to the book and you see what it recommends, and then you go from there. And so we recommend that people try different types because everybody is different, and so you don't necessarily know how your body will respond and what will work for you. So do me a favor now and flip to the back. Oh, this is a new book. Okay, let's just go to the very back, the last page. So page 319, 320. So this is a quick usage chart that everybody likes because a lot of times when you have an order of the month, you'll get a free oil. And so for example, one month we got rosemary. And I thought, that's great. I love rosemary chicken, but I don't know what else to do with rosemary. So sure enough, you can look in this book and you can read that rosemary is great for an antioxidant, arthritis, diabetes, flu, headache, memory. But what I also learned is that rosemary is great for the respiratory support, which I never would have known and I never would have tried it. And so my son suffers from respiratory issues, and so I add rosemary into his diffuser at night, and it helps open up his respiratory system. But without this book, you kind of just figure things out, but the book really does give you a great guide and tells you what to do and what not to do.
So
At the
Rose,
very top where it says adult child sensitive pregnancy, and then there's the little dots next to it. What is that indicating?
Yeah, so good question. The green dots say that it's safe. It's safe to use on the skin. The purple dots recommend mild dilution, so that's where we were talking about the coconut oil. And then the red is dilute. And so some of the oils are very nice on the skin, like lavender, for example. Lavender is typically one of the safest oils to put directly on the skin. However, cinnamon is considered a hot oil. Peppermint. You guys experience peppermint on the back of your neck. We understand that as a cooling sensation. My children think it's spicy. So I can't put peppermint on the back of their neck without a coconut oil with it because they don't understand that sensation. So if you are a child or you have sensitive skin, this is where the chart recommends, and we highly recommend the dilution because these are very powerful oils.
and I just wanted to speak to rosemary seems to be coming up a lot the past week.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's great for hair loss, preventing it, and there's been studies done, I think it increased hair growth by 70% when used for 6 months, I think. And also it's great for memory. to smell it. It actually helps retain memory, help to recall facts, that sort of thing. And I know I was working at a weight loss clinic, rosemary was in the breast support supplements. So keeping healthy breast tissue. I think it's because it's so high in antioxidants. Okay, and then internally, so drinking the lemon in your water. We also offer something called veggie caps. So you guys have ever taken a supplement in a gel cap? doTERRA sells empty ones, and you can look up your recipe of what you'd like to address in your health, put the amount of drops you'd like to target it, cap it, and swallow it. And so if you don't like the taste of it, I handle Digest-N because it works so well for me, but I don't really enjoy it. So depending on my mood, if I'm really just not in the mood to taste it, I'll put it in a capsule. If I'm making a recipe that has like 8 oils in it, and I'm not about to start swallowing that with water, I'll put it in the capsule and swallow it.
How do you know how to make a recipe?
That book.
This book.
Yeah.
So like if you're like, oh, I have migraines, and you can look it up and it'll be like, add this drop of this and that drop of that and this drop of this.
So when I moved to Kansas, I got the worst seasonal threat that this country acknowledges, and I made capsules every 4 hours, and within 3 days, usually people take 2 or 3 weeks to recover from this. In 3 days, I was back to myself. So, but that was a lot of oils. We used to call it foop, and then a client said, why don't you call it poof, because it makes things go away. So it's, isn't that cute? So 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of oregano, 3 drops of On Guard, and 4 drops of peppermint every 4 hours. And so that was my homemade remedy. Oregano, you don't want to put that directly in your mouth at all. So definitely swallow it with a gel cap.
It's what I put on my kids' tongues when they sass me. You'll see immune system.
That's right.
Yeah, and so so those are the 3 ways to use essential oils: aromatically, topically, internally. And just, I want to respect your guys' time. There's an area on the sheet about metabolic support, our Slim and Sassy line, and then antioxidant support, our On Guard line. So that oil comes in toothpaste, laundry detergent, hand soap, cough drops. You guys are welcome to try them. And beadlets. It's a great line. I love it. And then if you flip over to the back, so doTERRA is an essential oil company, and our #1 selling product is our Lifelong Vitality Pack. And so it's we have multiple different supplements available, but this is our #1 selling product, and it actually has 100% money back guarantee. So if you take a full month supply for 30 days and you don't feel more alert, more mentally clear, if you don't feel your body more balanced, just more vibrant, less discomfort, better sleep, whatever it is that you're trying to target, if you don't feel relief, you can return the empty bottles for a full refund, no questions asked. And it still remains our best-selling product. Evelyn, would you talk just a little bit about the Lifelong Vitality Pack?
Yeah, it comes with 3 capsules. It comes with a multivitamin. It also comes with the CRS, which is your cardiovascular support, and then it comes with an omega fish oil. And what they've discovered is vitamins in the last 50 to 60 years there's been so many changes to them. And so what they learned is that in the 50s and 60s, when vitamins just started coming out, they knew that our food was lacking in nutrients. So they knew that we needed a little bit of supplements, vitamins, nutrition that we needed. So fast forward 30 years, they discover our food is completely depleted in nutrients. So that's when the mega packs came out in the 90s, and these huge multivitamins with all of these nutrients and stuff were coming out. And they realized that your body can only absorb and only handle so much at a time. So people are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on vitamins, and what are they doing? They're peeing all of it out. And so fast forward another 20 years, there's been another shift in the vitamin world. And this isn't doTERRA, this is scientists all over the country or world have discovered that yes, our food is lacking in nutrients, but our body can only handle so much at a time. And so what doTERRA has done is created this optimal level of the perfect amount of what the body needs in nutrients, what the body can absorb, and they've also included 9 of the most powerful essential oils in their supplements. And so this is rare that they've combined the vitamin world with the essential oil world, and it's they've spent so much money on the research so that when we take these supplements, we are absorbing all that we can, and every little bit goes in our body where it needs to go.
And the formulation is different country to country. So the supplements you get in the US is going to target the average American diet. The supplements in China are going to target a Chinese diet, that sort of thing. So they really are looking at where you need more and where you need less. And it's not a marketing ploy, it's really about what we need and what's bioavailable. One other thing to mention is there also is a vegan option. So the fish oil version, there is plant omegas and ocean omegas, and because doTERRA is trying to stay ahead of the curve with sustainability, we've switched, I think, from krill oil to calamari oil from Norway because it's a more renewable resource, I guess you could say, and because those oceans are healthier. Cool. So is anybody in a rush to get out of here? Cool. Okay, so there's this spot where we're going to talk about the top 3 health concerns. It might be more effective if when people are looking at their kits, we can come around and answer questions. So if you want to jot down your top 3 health concerns, so when we come around, you're ready to ask us some questions, you're more than welcome to do that. Do you want to talk about the... Okay, so why does it say 3 ways to purchase? All right, so you can purchase doTERRA essential oils 2 ways. You can purchase it at retail, which I don't recommend to anybody, unless you've got a clinic, a doctor's office, or a storefront. It's really not the most cost-effective way to do it. So we like to support people by getting them the cheapest way, and the wholesale club is the best way to do that. And there's no minimum purchase required. With any of the enrollment kits on your sheet, you get a year wholesale membership. So those kits waive your...
Where are those?
They are in your folding packet.
Oh, there they are.
So the wholesale kits do a few different things. They get you more oils for a cheaper cost than even your wholesale discount. And so they're specifically organized to get you your goals targeted as cheaply as possible. They waive your wholesale fee for the first year, and there's no minimum requirement to purchase monthly, but if you look at the back of your sheet, there's rewards points and reward systems in place for you. So with the wholesale discount, you get 25% off all the oils. I think about 50 to 75% off some of the supplements when purchased together. And then you get 10 to 30% back in free product point for whatever you spend. So 1 PV equals $1 of oil. So if you spend 100 PV of oil and you're earning 30% back, you get 30 points, $30 to spend on whatever oil you'd like. And you also get the free product of the month if you purchase a 125 point order before the 15th of the month. And you also get reimbursed for all your shipping costs with free products. So all that's available to people if they're using the Loyalty Rewards program, but it's not required. So the only thing you need to do to keep your wholesale membership is every 12 months, buy 1 bottle of peppermint oil. That's how they do it. So it's very cost effective, and if you turn over to those kits, actually, I don't need the sheet. My favorite kit is the Diamond Kit. It offers, I think, not every single product doTERRA has to offer, almost. And if you do place a loyalty reward order of 100 points the following month, they give you $400 in free product credit. So it's the biggest savings. And then we've got the Natural Solutions Kit, which is the most popular kit available. It has the 8-hour diffuser, it has the supplements, the toothpaste, the deep blue rub, it's got the 10 most commonly used essential oils, a bunch of blends, it has our Correct-X, which is like a neosporin or a bacitracin, but it's petroleum free, it's got essential oils in it, it works incredibly well, it smells nice. Comes with a wooden carrying box, the hand soap, the Breathe Vapor Stick, and then there's the Home Essentials Kit, which comes with the 10 most commonly used oils and that diffuser. And any order that you place tonight, tomorrow's the last day of the promotion, of 200 points or more, you get a free bag of Breathe cough drops, a free bottle of Breathe oil, a free bottle of cardamom oil, and a free vapor stick. So it's $92 in free product. So it's an awesome promotion.
You spend how much to get that?
200 points. And then next month, if you place a 125 point order before the 15th, you get the free oil of the month. So doTERRA is really neat. When you're a wholesale member, you get your own login website. It's kind of like shopping on Amazon.com. You don't just get your oils and your own login account, you also get us. And there's a couple more people in the room that you get to. And so when you get your kit, we do a wellness consult. We talk about what oils you got, what your goals are, and how to start using them. Because it can be a process, and we don't want to leave you on your own to just leave the oils on the shelf, because that doesn't serve anybody. We want you using them, we want you feeling better, and we want you to feel empowered. So the other thing you get in addition to the promotion and us is if you place a 125 point order next month, you also get the free oil of the month, and you get to go home tonight with this book for free, so that you can start learning about your oils and how to use them before the kit even shows up. And if you ever have a question and I'm not available to answer your phone call right away, you've got it at your fingertips. So it's an awesome resource. And there's 3 kinds of people that come to these classes. So there's people that just want to use the essential oils for themselves and feel better. And we all start there, right? We call those people essential oil users. And then there's people, when they start to feel better, they can't help but notice other people in their life that they care about that could benefit, and they might share it with them and help them get their own wholesale account. We call those people oil sharers. And then there's people who feel like maybe they want to do something similar to what Evelyn and I do and share it with other people, either occasionally or consistently, and we call those people oil builders. And those people can either create a residual income on the side of their full-time job or replace their income with doTERRA. So we're happy to talk to anyone who's interested in pursuing that path, but everyone is rewarded the same. Everyone gets the same wholesale account, everyone gets the same discounts, free product, and it's up to you to decide what you'd like to do, and you don't need to identify it. So as long as you have a wholesale account, you can do any of that. Any questions?
What's Melissa? What's the most expensive one?
It's because it's rare and it's really hard to extract from the plant. It's a flower. It's one of the most powerful
It's great for happiness. Lemon balm, if there's any herbalists in the room, it's lemon balm. It's the scientific name for lemon balm.
I looked at it because it was the most.
Yeah, if you look up Melissa in that book, the green tabs is where the oils, the resource for the oils live, and then the red tabs is for the ailment. So you guys all have that book if you want to look up Melissa if you're curious. And that was out of stock for a year and a half or something, because when the plants are tested, when our liters of oil are tested, and they don't meet the chemical constituents that we deem supportive, even if it's organic and there's no heavy metals and there's no mold and fungus, if it's not going to target what we have written in that book, doTERRA is not going to sell it. So Melissa's been out of stock, I think, because of heavy rainfall, and chamomile too. So it just goes to show the integrity of that certified pure therapeutic grade. So I don't know, is Melissa still for sale? They were able to grow a certain amount, so I think there was one to four per family. They had a month where they were selling it, and then it's out. But I believe if you get a diamond kit or in every oil kit, they have a stock left over, and you can get Melissa that way, but only that way through enrollment.